Welcome back again to this new Learning Explainer. Today, we're going to build the essential digital toolkit for anybody managing an AWS EC2 instance. We're skipping the theory and jumping right into the practical, hands-on Linux commands you're going to use every single day. So you've gone through the AWS console, you clicked Launch, and there it is, your brand new EC2 instance, status, running. That's an awesome first step, but let's be real. The big question is, now what? How do you actually get in there, take control, and make it do something useful? And that's where we come in. You see, the real work, the day-to-day management, the critical troubleshooting, it all happens right here, in the command line. I want you to think of these commands as your sysadmin toolkit, and in this quick guide, we're going to build that toolkit together piece by piece. All right, so here's the game plan. Our toolkit is laid out in 5 main trays. First, we'll cover how to check the server's pulse, its basic health. Then, we'll put on our detective hats and dig into logs and processes. After that, we'll get our hands dirty with files and permissions, then connections and software, and we'll wrap it up with some really cool AWS-specific bonus commands. First things first, checking the server's pulse. These are the commands you'll run the second you log in, just to get a quick health check and make sure your apps are running and the server isn't about to, keel over. The master control for pretty much any modern Linux system is systemctl. Seriously, think of it as the remote control for all the important software on your server. Your website's down? Check its status with systemctl status httpd. Need to restart it? You got it. And that last one, systemctl enable? Absolutely critical. It tells the server to automatically start that service if it ever reboots, which will save you a massive headache down the line. But here's the thing, just knowing a service is running is only half the battle. Is it running well, or is it secretly gobbling up all your server's memory and dragging everything else down with it? To find that out, we've got to look at the server's core resources. These 4 commands right here are basically your server's vital signs monitor. Top gives you this live, constantly updating view of what's hogging your CPU. Free-H shows you how much RAM you have left, and that little -H is a lifesaver. It means human-readable, so you get gigabytes instead of some crazy long number. df-H does the same thing for your disk space. And uptime? Just a simple, satisfying way to see how long your server's been chugging along. All right, let's grab the second tray from our toolkit. This is the detective gear, because let's face it, things will go wrong. An app will crash, a website will throw an error, and you'll have to play detective to figure out what on earth happened and why. Your first stop should always be the logs. They're like the black box flight recorder for your apps. The tail-F command is amazing. It lets you watch a log file live as things are happening. For digging through older stuff, less lets you scroll through massive files easily, and grep is your search tool for finding that one needle in the haystack, like the exact word error. But what if the problem isn't something that happened in the past? What if it's happening right now? Sometimes it's a rogue process that's just gone wild. Maybe it's frozen solid or it's eating up 100% of your CPU. To wrangle a rogue process, you start with ps-aux to get a big list of everything running. Then, you use that pipe symbol and grep to hunt down the specific process you're looking for and find its process ID, or PID. Once you have that number, kill 9 is, well, it's the final answer. It just terminates that process, no questions asked. Perfect for those stubborn apps that refuse to shut down nicely. Okay, time for section 3, mastering files and permissions. This stuff is the absolute bedrock of Linux. Every single thing on your server, every config file, every web page, every bit of data, it all lives as a file. Knowing how to work with them is totally non-negotiable. These commands are like your digital hands. ls is for looking around a folder, cd is for moving from one place to another. Then you've got mkd, cp, mv, and rm for creating, copying, moving, and deleting stuff. It's basically the same as organizing files on your computer, but way faster once you get the hang of it. And I have to stop here for a quick public service announcement. That last command, rm-r, it deletes a folder and everything inside it, permanently. There's no recycle bin, there's no undo button. It's just gone. So yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. Always, and I mean always, double check what you're doing before you hit enter on that one. So it's not just about creating files, it's about securing them. And that's where chmod and chown come in. They're like the security guards for your file system. Chmod changes permissions. Who can read, write, or run a file? A really common one you'll see is 755. which basically means the owner can do anything, but everyone else can only look, not touch. And chown changes who owns the file in the first place. Getting these right is key to a secure server. All right, let's pull out the fourth tray from our toolkit. This one's all about managing connections and software. How you get into your server, how to see who else is there, and of course, how to install all the cool new tools and apps you're going to need.
So, how do you get into your EC2 instance? You use SSH, the secure shell. It's the key to the kingdom. You just need three things: your private key file, that's your literal key, then the instance's public IP address, that's the address on the door, and finally, the username, which for Amazon Linux is usually just EC2-user. You combine them all in the SSH command just like that, and boom, you're in.
Once you're in, these commands are super handy. Netstat gives you a peek under the hood at all your network connections, which is awesome for firewall troubleshooting. Who is a simple way to see if anyone else is logged in with you. And when you're all finished, just type exit to close the connection nice and securely.
Now for a really important tip, a real gotcha for newcomers. How you install software depends on the type of Linux you chose. If you're on Amazon Linux, Red Hat, or CentOS, you're going to use Yum. If you picked Ubuntu or Debian, you're going to use apt. They do the exact same thing, but you've got to use the right one for your system or it just won't work.
And finally, our bonus section. These are some commands that take advantage of a really cool part of the cloud. The fact that your server knows it's an EC2 instance. It's self-aware.
This is one of my favorite EC2 features. Every instance has this special, internal-only web address it can use to ask questions about itself. Using the curl command, your instance can find out its own instance ID, its public IP, all sorts of things. This is incredibly powerful for automation, for writing scripts that can adapt to wherever they're running. Pretty cool, right? So there you have it, your complete digital toolkit. For managing services with system control, checking space with DF, reading logs with tail, working with files using ls and chmod, connecting with SSH, and installing software with yum or apt, you now have the fundamental command set to confidently manage any EC2 instance you come across. So we've filled up your toolkit with all the essentials. The power is officially in your hands. The only real question left is, what are you going to build first? A web server? A database? Your next big application? The command line is your canvas.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If this guide was helpful, we'd love to hear what you're working on. Let us know in the comments below. And of course, for more quick, practical guides just like this one, make sure you subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.